There are few photographers who've been able to shoot a magazine cover with such a cultural impact as Annie Leibovitz, first with her Rolling Stone cover of John Lennon, and then the Vanity Fair cover with Demi Moore. Once again, Annie Leibovitz found herself at the epicenter of the cultural zeitgeist with the Vanity Fair cover of Caitlyn Jenner, her first public images since coming out as a transgender woman.
I knew it wasn't going to be journalism, but I wanted to base it on, I wanted the foundation of journalism there. So we basically did it all in her house. And the idea was we would try on all the clothes and go through it. It really was a 2-day session of emergence. I mean, she really did emerge, over the 2 days. And these are sort of chronological. That was one idea with the corset. I originally wanted to be more conservative with her, and was looking at photographs of Katharine Hepburn, and I realized as I was doing research that whatever look she had was going to be an acquired look. This was an acquired idea of what is a woman, and you had this, of course, expansive idea of what is a woman. What should a woman look like? I mean, like, how does a woman dress up? I mean, who is Caitlyn? And can we stay on this a minute, because this probably is my journalistic shot, and I don't think I ever told you this, Graydon, but it was an important shot to me because towards the end of the second day, when I sort of felt like I was being dragged behind a car because she just took over. I mean, she is an Olympic athlete after all. But the first day she was very quiet, and then as she started to sort of gain her confidence, and I do think that as much as we knew we were doing these photographs for a magazine and a cover, we were really, when you're in it, you are doing the photographs to make whatever she was hoping to be. You wanted that to be a success for her. And that is why I'm not really a journalist, is because I have empathy, and I have to make those decisions as we're doing it. But I think our whole team, and it was a team of people, really wanted it to be successful for her. And we wanted to take her over the hill. Now, I do think she has a long road still to go, but I think what she's done so far is pretty amazing. And but this picture, I like it because there was a moment in the second day when I think Kim Kardashian came over, and she was trying to get her children to come over to see her. She was so excited, and she went back into the dressing room and came out, and I think the hair and makeup might have started drinking at that point, and she came out a little bit more, than I thought was a good idea. So, and that was this moment, and I didn't think I was ever going to run this, and then I just felt, it's the one where you can really see her arms, and you can see, who she really is.
As print magazine sales slip, the demand for behind-the-scenes content increases. Vanity Fair was quick to recognize the shift, and would use the BTS content as an opportunity not only to allow viewers to connect with the celebrities in a different way, increasing the likelihood they would want to pick up the actual magazine, but it also gave a glimpse into the way that Leibovitz works. Unlike other photographers who try to hide their process as if it is precious intellectual property, like the notoriously private Steven Meisel, Leibovitz is happy not only to share, but also to educate. In 2017, she partnered with the online platform Masterclass for 15 lessons over 3 hours that cover topics like the photographers who influenced her work, or how to bring images to life in post-production. For those looking for a step-by-step tutorial on how to execute one of her pictures, this program is not for you. Most of the lessons are more akin to interviews, but that should not come as a surprise given Annie's point of view as a photographer.
I'm so not a technical photographer. And what camera are you using? I think because I embrace the idea that I'm interested in content and not so much interested in the technical side of photography. You know, when digital came along, you know, it was too obvious that this is what was going to be. It was beautiful. I took Polaroids. You know, I loved it, but it was time to move on. And I just didn't want to waste time not getting started. I do think the digital, that there's more play in the photograph itself, you know. Right. It's in another place, and I actually really like it.
Is that how you, like I noticed in some pictures that the one that you did of Kanye and Kim, and it's from a mirror, like you can see that the mirror, but you weren't there. Like, did you just Photoshop yourself out?
I did.
Okay. Like, she's just not there.
That's good. But you know what? We are really smart. We know something's been worked on or played with. It's not like we're not pulling wool over anyone's eyes. And that's the thing about the whole digital work. I mean, I can't stand when it's blatant, you know, but it's like it is a whole other kind of genre coming out with the digital work now that it's a little bizarre. It's definitely a whole new world. I feel more like a creative artist using photography because the digital work is so interesting now.
So the first word for you is artist, not photographer.
Thank you. Yes, I would like that.
You're an artist who uses a camera. That's your brush. That's your pen.
It's come to that. I have had many different stages of photography, as there are many different ways to take photographs. But I feel now I'm in that stage of my life where I use the camera, you know, in that way.
When you're out with your kids, do you take a camera or do you shoot on your iPhone?
I shoot on my phone now.
Well, you told me a while ago, this was maybe 3 years ago, that almost anything you do with the big equipment you use, you could do with an iPhone at this stage, or a cell phone.
Almost. I mean, I was really impressed when I was on the Star Wars set to see J.J. Abrams walk around with his iPhone and use it as a, you know, for how to frame. And I was so impressed with that I immediately went back and we just went to Cuba and photographed Rihanna. And I wish I had done more of it on the iPhone. I actually literally, one of the backgrounds in the blue bedroom is an iPhone.
That's
photograph.
interesting.
Yeah.
And when you're shooting a crowd scene, a big camera is better than an iPhone. You know, when Rihanna, there was all those people.
I haven't tested the iPhone enough. I just got the new one, and I want to immerse myself more in it. But I do think it's, you know, the only difference between, well, there's lots of, I mean, if you want to take photography seriously and you want to be a serious photographer, it's certainly more work. But you know, when I first started taking pictures, to have a camera, that was the difference, whether or not you had the camera with you or not. So the fact that you can carry that iPhone with you and have it with you, and it has such ease, it's just incredible. It's wonderful.
But it's the way you compose them. You have doubles sit in for the people, don't you? And to get the lighting right. So much of what you do is about incredible
I tell you,
lighting.
we do. Yes, I do sit people down, and I do try to figure it out as best as possible. Because when the subjects come in, I really try very hard to spend as little time, just try to do as fast as possible. Because I think the attention span in a photograph is like about like 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, it can be longer than that, but I don't believe that it should take that long. I think you should be able,
That's because you've done your homework ahead of time. You've composed it.
You really try.
Especially when her subject is a world leader, time is limited. Her recent shoot for Vogue with Ukrainian President and First Lady has split public opinion, some claiming it is romanticizing war, and others applauding the story for bringing attention to the suffering of the Ukrainian people. Much of the criticism focused on the fact that the images were published in a woman's fashion magazine rather than in a news journal, but both Leibovitz and former actor turned leader of Ukraine understand the power of reaching as many people as possible. More than half a century has passed since Annie stepped into the office of Rolling Stone magazine, but her career is showing no signs of slowing down. She smashed through the glass ceiling, went toe-to-toe with presidents and pop stars, producing covers that are touchstones of culture. Her work may be controversial, but it is undeniable that the photographs of Annie Leibovitz changed what it means to take a successful portrait.